Yes, we can certainly take a look at this one. Let me just grab a quick picture here. So you're almost there. What we have to do now is because we have a common denominator to both of these terms in the numerator, we can split this up. We can reduce some fractions, and we have to reduce this negative 24. There's a perfect square that we can factor out of that. So let me just write it like this. I'm going to split this for us. So I'm going to have negative 6 over 6 plus or minus. Now this root negative 24, that's no good. It's an imaginary number. So what we do is we always write it as I root 24. We always pull that negative out. That becomes I. So we write it as I times the root 24. Okay, so I'm just going to write it like that. I root 24. And that's over 6 as well. Now we can reduce this fraction right here. This is going to simplify to negative 1 plus or minus. And now with 24, we're looking at what's the biggest perfect square that we can factor out of 24. Big perfect squares being like 1, 4, 9, 16. So let's go with 4. I think that's going to work. 4 times 6 gives us 24. Let me just erase that. Make some room for myself. So instead of 24, let's write the square root of 4 times 6 over the denominator 6. Okay? I always put the perfect square first. That's just how I like to do it, because when we evaluate, this will come out. Now the square root of 4 is 2. 2 times I is 2I root 6. And this is over 6 as well. Okay, so things are getting cluttered here, but I hope you can follow my mess. Now what we can do, we know this is it. There's no other big perfect square. 2 times 3 would factor, but neither of those are perfect squares. But what we can do is we can reduce this little fraction here, this 2 over 6. So we'll divide top and bottom by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So our final little part here, this is going to be I root 6 over 3. Okay, we don't put the 1 because that's not cool. We'll just leave it like that. Keep in mind also, Ash, that my math lab wants you to split this up, right? So if I just make some room for myself here, how you would actually enter this into my math lab would be negative 1 minus, always put the minus first, I root 6 over 3. Make sure you put that in properly, comma, negative 1 plus I root 6 over 3. And in my math lab, it's probably a good idea just to click the fraction button here, and then you can arrow key around to make sure everything's put in properly. Comma, no spaces, but I think if you do put a space here, you should still be marked right as well. Okay, so give that a shot, and let me know if it helps. Thanks.